Now, the defense. This is where I get very, very excited, guys. Very excited. Texas's defense, up until the last, 2 minutes of the game, did not allow Colorado State to pass midfield. Colorado State never passed midfield, guys, ever. That is thoroughly, thoroughly impressive by this defense. And the only reason they passed midfield is because we went for it and gave them the ball on, the 37 or 38-yard line. So they only had to get 13 yards to get past midfield. So fantastic job by Texas. Texas might have played one of the best quarterbacks they will play, and they might have played the best wide receiver they played. So overall, really good job. I thought it was very telling to me that Jay Norvell ran the ball a lot more than they did last year, like way more. Justin Marshall had 25 carries for 106 yards and 4.2 yards per carry. A little bit too much on the average yards per carry. I will say this, you can definitely tell a drop off from the interior of this defensive line, but the linebackers stepped up. Benda and Hill look better than they did last year. Obviously, I knew Anthony Hill, but Benda might have had the hit of the day just college football-wise on that stick in the backfield there against the running back. So very impressive by the linebackers. Very, I would say, average job on the interior of the defensive line. Another thing I'm going to have to go back and watch again closely. I thought Alfred Collins definitely was the best player on the interior. Vernon Broughton did have a very nice pass rush there and then batting the ball down. But overall, very average there. We also didn't get very much of a pass rush with the edges, which kind of stinks. But again, very vanilla. I think you're going to see a lot of more stunts in games inside versus Michigan and outside with the exterior pass rushers versus Michigan. But Brandon Fowler, Nicolosi, 10 of 18, 59 yards and an interception. That's really good, guys. This team was 17th in the country in passing yards per game last year. That's according to teamrankings.com. You can check that out. Now, another site, NCAA.com, had him 9th, and someone else had him 13th. So they're somewhere between 9 and 17 in the country in yards passing per game. But that's still really good by Texas to allow them only, 59 plus 15, so 60 or 74 yards passing in the game held to between the two quarterbacks. That's a phenomenal job, and they had 2 interceptions, one at the end of the game in the end zone to keep the shutout. And then Jahdae Barron, let's talk about this. So there was much to be made about where Jahdae Barron would play. I think it's pretty clear he's going to be the boundary cornerback, and I love that. I love that move there. Jahdae Barron, you see him, no one lines up on the boundary with him, so he's able to use his instincts, drop back, read the cover, or read the route, and then haul ass back there and make a play on the ball. Phenomenal instincts by Jahdae Barron. I think that's pretty funny because Malik Muhammad kind of said the same thing. He said, I trust that guy over there. I have really good instincts. He has really good instincts. So we're going to be able to come down with some balls because of our instincts. And he was right. That was a great play by Jahdae Barron. I think Jahdae Barron will be a safety at the next level for that same reason. Great instincts, can make plays on the ball. Really good interception by Jahdae Barron. Overall, I was thoroughly impressed. Manny Muhammad didn't get many opportunities, but when he did, he came down, made plays on the ball, and made tackles. Anthony Hill was great in this game. Let's see how many tackles he had on the day, if I can find it. Defensively, he had 4 tackles, so not as many as I thought, but Jalen Gilbo at the nickelback position, taking over that spot for Jahdae Barron, had 8. He was really good in this game as well. Honestly, the guys that stuck out to me in this defense were both the linebackers, Jalen Gilbo and Manny Muhammad and Jahdae Barron. So overall, really good. Like I said, they held a guy, in my opinion, that's, I don't know, I'm trying to think. He might be the second or third best wide receiver. Torrey Horton had 5 receptions for 31 yards. This guy went for over 1,000 yards last year. I think he was like top 5 or top 6 in yards per catch as well amongst qualified wide receivers. So you held a guy that, other than Barry and Brown at Kentucky, was probably the best wide receiver you will face all year, to 5 for 31. So that's a phenomenal job by this Texas defense overall. Again, I think they can shore up the running lanes and the running and the gaps that they played. There were poor gap integrity plays by the Texas defense on certain plays that I think they can fix. Again, this team is not going to be – they were top 5 in every rushing metric or against the rush metric that you wanted to look at last year. So that's not going to happen with this defense. What you're going to see, in my opinion, is 2 years ago with Keandre Coburn and Moro Ojimo, they were in, I believe, the 20 to 30 range. I think that's more realistic for this rushing defense. And if this passing defense can take a big step up like they did today, if they just play like this the whole year and the rushing defense takes a slight step up from today, this defense will be light years better than it was last year. Light years. And this offense is scary, guys. Way more depth, way more speed. and just more all-around talent. There's 3 tight ends I believe in on this roster. There's 6 wide receivers I believe in on this roster. There's 6 offensive linemen. I'm not going to say 7 because I didn't really see Neto play that much today. And if he did, he didn't come out and make an impact like I thought he would. So there's 6 offensive linemen I believe in. There's 2 quarterbacks I believe in. Arch Manning looked phenomenal, uses athleticism, has a very strong arm, makes smart decisions. This offense is going to be very good. At worst, they're like the 10th best offense in the country. And then I think the defense will probably be in the 25 to 35 range. And guess what, guys? If the offense can take even a bigger step up and not be top 10, if they can be top 5 and that defense is 25 to 35, like I think it can be and will be, this team can win the national championship. And that's not an overreaction. That's something I've been saying the whole offseason. Again, rush gap integrity a little bit better, and that's really the only change on defense I need to see. And obviously, we're going to need it next week. We play a really big bullying type team up in Ann Arbor. It's going to be a hell of a game. Interested to see what that spread's going to look like and how they play tonight. I will be watching that game closely. It looks like Davis Warren will be the quarterback for them. I did watch a little bit of that spring game for Michigan, and he processes things better than Alec Orji, so I think they probably made the right decision in going up against this Texas team. Overall, just a fantastic game. It really was. Fantastic game. Texas does not allow Colorado State to reach past midfield until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter when they turned the ball over on downs for Texas at the 38, basically gave it to them at midfield, so thoroughly impressed. And honestly, guys, watching everyone else, I think Texas was probably the most impressive team versus this type of competition. Miami played Florida, so that was more impressive. But I'm talking about when Ohio State played Akron, that wasn't looking very promising to me at least. Let's see what other games – I'm trying to think what other games I watched like that. I wouldn't say Penn State and West Virginia is like that. I think they're more even, obviously, than us. But we dominated this game. We really did. Colorado State, I think, barely reached over 200 yards total. So overall, just a really good performance by Texas. Yeah, so Colorado State had 192 total yards, guys. That is phenomenal. 74 passing yards, 118 rushing yards, 11 first downs. Texas only had 3 penalties on the day. Texas did have 1 sack. Colorado State had 0. I thought they had 1, but according to Bleacher Report, it is 0. So overall, a fantastic performance by Texas. There's really not much else to say, guys. Like, it's Colorado State. We killed them. We did what we should have did. I was more impressed by the defense than the offense, but the offense was really good.